our glorious college name. High on the hill, a beacon light is she, leading our children on to fame. March on to glory is a message bold, spread to the love far and wide. Loyal to the hands who reigns of guidance, teacher and pupil side by side. Alma mater, we be here. God give the earth and great success. With truth and love, we'll conquer all. For God, our land and SFL. Alma mater, we be here. God give the years and great success. With truth and love, we'll conquer all. For God, our land and SFL.
A very good morning to one and all present here on this forum. On behalf of the management, Principal Dr. K.T. Thomas Sir and staff of St. Francis de Sales College, I, Saili Raut, student of BSc final year and your host for the day, welcome you all to the one-day national webinar on plant nursery raising and opportunities for entrepreneurship organized by Botany Department. St. Francis de Sales College is a Catholic Christian minority institution managed by the Catholic Archdiocese of Nagpur and affiliated to RTMNU, was established in 1956. It is accredited grade A with CGPA of 3.23 by NAC Bangalore. Situated on Seminary Hills in the Silville surroundings with dark and deep lush green foliage, provides a tranquil atmosphere needed for studies away from the hustle bustle of the city life. Our college aims for holistic development of the students besides academics. Today, we will learn many interesting things, including basic techniques of plant nursery raising, what to do and avoid for nursery raising, and prospects for nursery raising as profitable enterprise. Participants are requested to switch off their video and audio. Thank you. I request our HOD, Dr. Nikhat Naqvi ma'am, to give the welcome address.
Good morning, everyone. I, Dr. Nikhat Naqvi, Head of the Botany Department, SFS College, welcomes you all on behalf of Principal and Management to this national webinar on plant nursery raising and opportunities for entrepreneurship organized by Botany Department, SFS College, Nagpur. Plant science graduates are often in dilemma about the career prospects after a formal degree. The aim of this webinar is to guide the educated youth and develop industry-relevant skills which will help them in gainful employment in the plant sector. Skill development and self-reliance is the mission of our college. This is in line with the new education policy, which aims to create a pool of skill-based, educated youth ready to undertake plant-based entrepreneurship. Nursery raising of plants, if done with scientific and technical know-how, can provide lucrative business opportunity to students of plant sciences. To guide the participants, today we have two guest speakers who will share their experiences, expertise, and practical knowledge about plant-based industry. I'm sure their talk will motivate many participants to undertake agro-based enterprise. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Our first guest lecture is an esteemed speaker, Mr. Sharad Paliwal, ex-president of Nagpur Garden Club. Sir is an environmental activist, secretary of Swachha Association, founder and president of Paryavaran Prerna Vidarbha, and a member of Rotary Club of Nagpur Vision Peace Foundation. He has been propagating the correct and scientific methods of tree planting to get maximum survival rates and evolved a specific procedure for seed ball making. Sir has done tree plantation on large scale for mining sector, conducted many gardening workshops, and has also worked in the field of solid waste management, composting, and segregation of domestic waste. Sir has been on Agri panel of SBI and Agri group of VIA. He has been instrumental in various environmental social causes like Save Bharat One movement and ongoing Save Ajni One and Heritage Railway Colony. It's an honor to listen to you, sir. I'll humbly request you to address the gathering. Sir will speak on the topic requirement for raising nursery. I request all the participants to post their questions in the chat box of YouTube and Google Meet, which will be taken up during panel discussion. Over to you, sir.
Excuse me, I had lost again my connection of yeah.
Sir, I'll be presenting from my side. So I have shared the screen. You just tell me when you want to change the slide. I'll be changing those slides. So you are audible to us. Yes, sir, you are audible. Can you hear me? Yes, sir, can you hear me?
Hello, are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Hello, are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Hello,
Yes, sir.
hello, hello, are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Audible.
Hello, hello, are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir, you're audible. Yes, sir, you're audible.
Hello, hello, hello,
Sir, you're audible, sir. Please proceed.
hello, are you able to hear me? मैसेज किया शायद वो मैसेज नहीं मिल रहा वो सब पीछे का गंदा दिखने लगेगा बैकग्राउंड चेंज कर लिया करें Hello, are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Now, you are audible to me now, just now only.
Okay, sir.
Uh, Acha, suppose if something happens, hello,
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
if something happens, I'll get connected from my mobile only.
Sure, sir.
Totally, huh? I'll get connected from mobile only.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that will at least maintain continuity. Yes. So start the slideshow. Hello. Today's topic.
Yes.
Today's topic is plant nursery raising an opportunity for entrepreneurship. Uh, it is quite evident that many of the students who pass out, they have to search for a job. Many times it is not available. So starting your own enterprise is much better than seeking the job or not doing jobs which are not of your interest. So you get frustrated later on, and then you have a problem. So it is better to think over of having your own entrepreneurship, using your own entrepreneurship and starting your own ventures. So for this, there is a very good and great opportunity for the jobs in this nursery industry. Next slide, please. Next slide. So let's come up to why nursery is important. In our today's world, we need much and more of greenery. How this greenery will come? There are forests which are getting depleted. You have to redo the forests also. Many forest plantations are also to be done. There also you need a nursery where you raise the plants and then you get replanted. Even in urban area, there are lots of gardens which come up. Every person gets fascinated with the gardening, gardens, flowers. So he also most of them wants to have their own gardens. And for that, having their own gardens, they need plants. You have to raise a nursery to sell a plant to those people. Nursery is very much like a pediatric hospital where kids or newly borns are taken care till they are independent of taking uh, going out of hospital and getting into the world, maybe through their house or something like that, but they have to leave the hospital and go to the world. So in that case, uh, they need special care, and that place of special care where we offer to the plants is a nursery. So in a way, nursery is a pediatric hospital, you can say. Uh, it's why it is necessary, because if you don't have a nursery in the surroundings or anywhere, how will you get the plants? It is not possible for everyone to raise plants at their own place from seeds, or it's something like a science nowadays. Not only raising plants from seeds, but there are very other methods also, like cutting, like grafting. So all that nursery is required. So next slide, please. So that's why nursery is necessary. Nursery needs soil. Basically, the basic of nursery is having a good soil. Without a good soil, you can't plant anything, or the growth of the plant will not get good. So these are the some types of soils which had been shown here. Are you able to see my arrow? Various type of soils are shown here. Whenever you see a soil, you will be able to find out. Next slide, please. It is important to use a specific soil for specific purpose. Say when you are raising a nursery, the plants which you want in that particular packet or particular bed needs a particular type of soil for a particular plant. So we had classified the soil into three major portions, that is light soil, medium soil and heavy soil. We'll come one by one to these soils. Next slide. Different types of pot mix are there. Mainly there are three different types of to be maintained, as I told you just now: light, medium and heavy. You require garden soil, vermicompost or any other compost, cocoa pit or cocoa peat they call it, river sand. That different combination will make these three different types. These are the basic requirements: garden soil, vermicompost and cocoa pit. With the combination of these, you can have all these three different types of soil. Next slide. For light soil, you need more porous soils which does not retain water but retains moisture only. This is suitable for plants which require very less watering, that is alternate days in dry summer like in Nagpur, once a week or 4 days in winter depending upon dryness, that is relative humidity factor, and maybe none if open to sky, or once a while in a rainy season if dry spell occurs for more than a week. This will require the above stated material in the proportion of 1:1:1:half. Next slide, please. Medium soil. I'll just hurry up this portion because you will just understand more of this when you go into practicalities. But you should know that's why I'm taking up these things. It may be something like someone may feel it is boring, but still this is a basic requirements. Without you know the basic of anything, you cannot advise on this. So for advancements or to go into this entrepreneurship, you need to know the basics. So I'm trying to tell you the basic which is required. It requires soil. Medium requires soil which should retain some water and moisture. This will require daily watering or maybe twice a day in summer, once in 2 or 3 days in winter, and only if dry spell is more than 3 days in rainy season. Proportion for this is 1:1:half. Next slide. Heavy soil. This requires soil with more water and moisture retaining qualities. These are very few of these, and mostly the ones whose habitat is near or beside water bodies. Naturally, soil there is heavy. Here you require black cotton or clay soil 1 part, vermicompost 1 part, sand half part. Plants like Kendra, Brahmi, etc. grow in this very heavy. Normally, this is you have to create conditions of bogs when you are using heavy soil. Bog is a place which is adjacent to a water body. Keychad, you can say, heavy keychad which does not get dried up. So that type of thing you have to create in your nursery for these plants. Next. Now we'll come up to bag and pot filling. In nursery, you will either have to have a beds, or you have to use bags and pot filling. Bag is the more specific method because in bags is easier to sell. You just have to take up a bag and sell it to your customer. Whereas in beds, you have to dig out the plant, put it in some other container or wrap it around in some gone part, what you call, and then sell it to the people. So bags are the most convenient things. Sometimes when the plant is big or a customer needs, you want pots, you have to do pot also. So you should observe that your bag is having adequate holes in the bottom for drainage. If not, create. In pot, place some broken terracotta pot or roofing tile pieces over the holes in such a way that hole is covered, leaving space for water to exit. If you don't create holes or you don't create such thing, if you don't create holes, whatever material inside is soil, that will go away, that will get congested and more waterlogged. So you have to have holes. Those holes, if you do not cover, especially in pots, if these holes are not covered, you will lose the soil also while you are watering. So to have that, you have to take care that holes are covered in pots. Next file. Next slide. This is a peculiar picture of one of the nurseries. This I'm just showing you because you can see how many types and what type of presentation you should have in the nursery. Next slide. Basic requirements for the setup. One of the most basic requirement is water availability for irrigation. Next is land selection for propagation and stocks. Third is land selection as per selling point. If you don't have your selling point in a proper place where customers do come in easily, more accessible to customers, you will lose your aspect of selling. So you need a selling point. Selection of selling point is also necessary. Or if you don't have a proper selling point, you other things like land size, your availability of land is somewhere else, which is not near to this customer's approachable place. You can get into contractual agreements with other sellers. There are many sellers who just bring it from a nursery, put it in their place and sell it. So you will have to have a contractual agreements with them for selling. Next slide. Land selection as per selling point. You see so many. It's just a thing to show you how good a nursery can look, and how you have to increase the show of your nursery so more and more customers are attracted. Next. Comfort contracts, best is roadside nursery. You might have been seeing, if those people who are from Nagpur, if there are many roadside nurseries opposite to, you can say, University Library, and previously they were on the main road of Ambajari also, near to it. Some of them are opposite to district courts also, opposite to St. Ursula School also. So you have to select roadside nursery, or there are certain nurseries which had come up at various places, various localities also, which have a small space, so they cater to the people and they purchase the plants from outside and then they come up with it. They are only selling points. You have to make material which is sellable in their area. Next slide. Land selection for propagation and stocks. For that, you have to select an area, select a land where you can have either beds, or you can keep your pots or keep your packets in which you raise over the land. Because if you want to keep it everything in rack or something of that type of thing, which is being used by other shops selling other items, you won't be able to, because this is something like a living item which needs sunlight also, normal rains also. So you need an open space for it, or you need a covered space, something like a poly house. Next slide. Land required for this area is some open to sky area. You can some area which is covered with shade net, some for poly house, and a small cabin or a shed for your office. Open to sky area are for those which require more of the sunlight, more of the direct sun. You can have it cover it with shade net in specifically in summer to avoid extreme heat. There are certain plants which come very good in shade net, which do not require direct sunlight for a longer period. So there you can have a permanent shade net house also, where you are required to raise those plants. Then polyhouse, where you have to control the humidity also along with the temperature. There are many plants, especially indoor, which you have to grow in polyhouses, because later on when they are sold from your nursery, they also need the similar type of thing which are normally inside, so indoor plants. So for them you need a polyhouse. Even when the plants are infant, sometimes you need polyhouse if the season is not very favorable. You can, for seasoning them, you can take them out when they grow a bit. You all know why a small room or cabin is required, because your customer will approach you there. Next slide. This is a typical open to sky area. Just for reference, I had shown you this. Next slide. This is a shade net area. You see above in the sky portion, there is a shade net. Below these shade nets, there are so many plants which are kept in groups as per their type, varieties, and their requirements. Specifically, I would come up here that every group of plant has a different water requirement. So you have to place one type of plant, one category of plant, you can say, which require more water in a group, some which require less water in a group, some which require very less water in a group. Because you yourself will not be doing all the jobs. You have to depend on your laborers also. And if these plants are not kept in a separate groups, he will just water it all of them, whether they require it or they don't require it. So better to have a specific groupings for different type of plants. Next, polyhouse. Here I had shown a skeleton of a polyhouse also. What it requires water in a specific tank. So whenever watering is required or spraying, some polyhouses are also with the fine sprayers attached. So when you require spraying, you can do specifically for those plants. Those all arrangements are done in a polyhouse. Another polyhouse you are seeing in the picture. Polyhouse are normally raised for very specific plants which have high volume. High value plants are normally raised in polyhouse. High value plants for vegetables also are raised in polyhouses. Next. Additional basic inputs you will require is garden soil, that is sandy loam, which I come up in the black polythene sheets. Wherever you are placing your packets, you need to lay black polythene sheets below. That prevents roots which normally come out of the packets and holes, and also from the pots which you are using, their holes. So it enters the ground, and whenever you sail, you pick up, you will find that those roots had entered the ground, and that plant gets a shock. So if you keep on the black polythene sheets, the root entry will not to be the ground. So they can be easily removed and they will not get that bigger shock. You will require poly bags where you will be filling this soil and making this. You will require containers and pots as per the customer choice. Or many times when your plants grow little bit more and you are unable to sell them, you need bigger pots to transplant them. Once you transplant them, you increase their cost also, because you had given more time to those plants, more value had been added to those pots. So you can increase the prices also there. And look wise also, many customers, they prefer pots instead of packets. Then you require neem khali, trichoderma, insecticide, fungicides, growth stimulators, and fertilizers, which you will learn. Neem khali, trichoderma, and fungicides are something which you have to add to the packet soil also when you are making filling up the packet. Growth stimulators and fertilizers are to be provided later on when you see that growth is not coming properly. With experience, you will know how much and where, which brand or which type you have to give. Next. Now we'll come to the type of nurseries. There are various types. You can decide what you want, what type of nursery you want. Some nurseries, they only resell purchased plants. That is nurturing smaller purchased plants for adding value. Many plants are available in small sizes through various sellers of very big nurseries who have just the work of selling these small plants. So you can get from them. Normally seasonal plants are of this nature. You can get the plants from them. They come up in trays of very small quantity soil in them. When you purchase them, either you have to sell it in the trays only, but that is a very small gap of period where you can sell those trays. Otherwise, the plant will grow, and if they don't find it proper place to grow, proper volume of soil there, they will just die back. So better to have these try to sell them in a very fast time, and then to convert these plants into a small packets. Packet size also varies as per the size of the plant. You can replant it, replace those packets also later on, but normally that condition does not arises. You are able to sell in packet forms if you maintain the record that what is the type of a market around your nursery, what's the customer preferences, that you have to see to convert them into packets. But this type of nursery people, they only do reselling. They don't plant seeds to get them. Next type is propagating sellable plants. There are many nurseries, especially in South India and around Pune, in hilly areas also of north, which sell directly. They sell sellable plants. So these nurseries, you have to purchase those sellable plants from them, nurture them, repot them at your nursery, and sell them. That is also one of the type of nursery people who do. Third is propagating plantlets, seasonal vegetables and greens. Here you sow seeds, propagate them, and sell it to either those who are having kitchen gardens for vegetables, or seasonals to various garden people who purchase those trays in which you propagate them, and they are sold in number. One tray contains about 100 numbers, a normal type of a tray. You can sell that 100 trays to a garden wala. You cut those trays and sell them 10, 12, 15, that type of also. But you only, these type of nursery walas, they only do propagating, especially seasonals and vegetables. Then fourth is purchasing from bulk growers and reselling them. As I told you in the briefing, some things overlap also. There are some bulk growers who produce lots of plantlets. You purchase them from them and resell them. Next slide. Propagating sellable plants. Here you will see is in the rows, one type of plant is one particular type of plants is placed in a packet. They are grown in the packet, propagated in the packet, and these packets are sold. This is what I had tried to show you visually. Next. Next slide. Bulk growers also sell you bulk packets. See in this, one particular type of plant is there, and thousands of these packets are grown at one big nursery. You go there, purchase them in bulk, and keep up to your age. These bulk requirements are also those for those who are growing orchids. So for orchids, you have to supply for orchids, बगीचों के लिए, बगीचे मतलब फल के बगीचों के लिए, you have to supply them in bulk. So a person who is doing it does it in acres, so he needs in hundreds of numbers. So you purchase these bulks, see that they are healthy, and sell to these people. Next. Additional lines you can add to your is garden soil. You can sell garden soil also from your nursery. You can sell those fertilizers which do not require license. Otherwise, you will have to go in for all the formalities to get the licenses. But there are a number of fertilizers which do not require licenses. So you can sell those fertilizers also. Then you can sell composts. Vermicompost is something which can be sold and which is very easily which is a great requirement for domestic growers also. So you can have vermicompost and sell it from there. Pots and grow bags. Nowadays, all those who put up their gardens on terrace, to reduce the weight on the terrace, they grow their plants in grow bags. These grow bags comes in various sizes. So you can sell those grow bags also from your nursery outlet. Certain instruments and tools can also be sold from your outlet. If you have all this, a person who comes up to purchase a plant, he has requirement of these things also. So you will add to your quantum of sales. Next. This is something of a person who keeps pots. So pots are also known as planters. So this is just a demonstrative. Next. You can keep irrigation paraphernalia also there, which is something like a small parts for people do for irrigation. They go in for piped irrigation. So here that pipes portion can also be kept there. Drip area also, drip pieces you can also, various components required for drips you can keep there. You can have a total drip irrigation system designed for those people who want them. Smaller drip irrigation systems also for the domestic purpose, or bigger for those bigger. You can, that's also a very big line. You can keep lawn grasses. Many nurseries, they do only raise lawn grasses and they sell it. You can purchase those slabs of lawn grasses from them and resell it at your place. Then moss sticks, that is, there are certain type of plants which grow well on sticks, especially which are adhered with moss. Especially these sticks are used for indoor plants more. So those moss sticks also you can provide. There are various stands made of wrought iron and this saria, what we call welded area things. So those stands also you can keep in your nursery if you have space and sell it. Your customers are the same who require these and who require the plants. So same customer will be able to see these stands also there in your stock, and you will again add value to your sales. Next. These are some ready-made big plants available, especially in South. They are grown to this size and sold. They have a very good cost attached to them. So you can, if you have this type of customers, or you can stock some of these, you'll be able to get more quantum of money, more turnover, amount of turnover from your nursery. Next. You are seeing these pictures which are had collected from net purely. So there may be some reservations. It's just a disclaimer. One should not say why my picture is there. It is just because this is for education purpose I had used it. Next. So my PPT is over. Otherwise, I'll tell you number of things now orally. You can have question answer session also, either here or in the end of the year, whatever these people had decided. Can I know what is the question answer 10 given? Excuse me, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Sir, it is in the end of the webinar.
Total end or in the end of this particular portion?
After Jajodia sir speaks.
Acha, okay, no problem. That's what I wanted to know. Other points I would like to say, this nursery business is so lucrative that I know a person from Nagpur itself who claims that someone had hello, some disturbances are there. There are certain persons, some nursery walas, who claim that their counter is 1.5 lakhs per day. So you can imagine how big this business can be. 1.5 lakhs, even if you deduct all the expenses, at least that person must be taking back something like 50,000 per day. That is the quantum of this business, even in Nagpur. Those people who are at Pune, there are certain big nurseries who do not entertain customers below a truckload. So you can imagine a truckload, if he is able to sell even 3 to 4 truckloads per day, what must be his quantum? Similarly, there are people in South who give you quite various sizes of plants in various rates, but in bulk. Either you arrange for your own transport or they can even arrange for the transport, but again the transportation should be in bulk. There are people who are doing just one type of thing. Either they are only doing raising chrysanthemums. I know a person from North India, especially around Lucknow, who is selling in season 8 to 10 truckloads of chrysanthemums all over India. Again, his minimum order is 1 truckload. So imagine what type of bulk business he must be doing. How much you can earn if you go into this. Again, some specific people who just grow fruit plants. There are certain nurseries in Nagpur itself, or around Nagpur you can say, who just do budding for oranges. They sell only orange plants. And again, if you are going to have an orange for an orchard, those who go in for orchard, they require them in bulk. Imagine their quantum. So this is a very good line if you pick it up. Very lucrative. I don't say you just start big. You plan for big, start in a small way. Why plan for a big? Because if you plan for a small, then you come up to a level and you are stuck up there. When that level reaches, you say, I don't have a bigger land, or I didn't have other infrastructure for it. Where will I fix up those infrastructure? So you plan for a big, start in a small way, attract customers. You see that you get this is also, nursery business is also like a fashion business. Fashion changes what type of plants you will like to have. Customers have a fashion. Either sometimes they only need seasonals, a particular seasonal. So you have to get the pulse of the customer, and that comes up with the experience. Once you get the pulse of the customers, you are very easy able to swim over all this, and you can be a very good winner. You can have a lots of business with you. Lots of things are there which you can add up to this. You can add up, once you get experienced, you get take contracts for laying gardens, where you'll have an added advantage that your own plants will be used there. Sky is the limit for this business, I'll say. But one basic thing is, you should start or come into this business only if you love gardening. You have interest over this. It is not something like that you don't have interest and you come up. I know one case, rather one of my neighbor, who was not at all interested in gardening initially, but somehow he got interested. He started with some 5-10 pots of roses only. He got interested in roses, and then he became so much interested in this line that once upon a time he was one of the biggest seller of rose plants in Nagpur. He changed his residence also. There also he had seen that the big open area is available with him, and he had been only selling roses, only selling rose plants. About 30 years before, 25 to 30 years before, that time he was selling 100 rupees per plant. Whereas even now you are able to get plants at 40 to 50 rupees for roses at the roadside nurseries. Even in those days, he was selling 100 rupees per plant because he was only dealing in roses. That also branded roses, all these things are registered. All type of roses you see are registered. They have a particular name, a particular person who had made them available by hybridizing the rose. Yeah. It is very difficult process. You need not think of hybridizing right in the beginning, but you can get branded roses with particular name, not only from Nagpur. There are one few Nagpurians also doing this business of branded roses, and most of them are at Pune, Bangalore, Lucknow, which sell only roses and branded roses. You can get from them and sell it, and specifically you can have your only rose as a sellable item at your nursery. So sky is the limit. You can select your specialty. There was a person who was selling only plantlets, getting it from Pune, and selling only plantlets in Nagpur. So you have to think over this particular line, whether you want a specific area or you want to generalize your nursery. There are benefits in both the things, but your interest is the major thing. If you are interested, you will throw away your heart into this, and only then you can survive and specifically do this. All the other things can come up with experience. If you are really interested, I would say first you join certain classes which give you the idea of basics of gardening. Once you know the basic gardening, you have to only multiply it in your, if you choose this as your career. But the basic requirement of basics is very, very necessary. You should join certain classes to know the basics. Basics will come up with the growing, how to propagate, how to do budding, how to pruning, when to give water, irrigate, when to have. There are certain plants which needs to be kept dried for certain period. Only then they will start flowering or start fruiting. So all those you have to know through basics. If you don't know basics, you will not be able to do this business. So better, if you think of doing this business, you should do basics in gardening and then go into it. Otherwise, there are many malis or laborers who just try to fool you out. If, even if you start, because everything you won't be able to do yourself, but you should know what is wrong also. So that is the basics of the gardening. And once you know the basics of the gardening, you will be able to do this business very easily. So I think I've covered most of the things. Any other thing you want me to cover, please? कुछ और चाहिए आप लोगों को इस फील्ड में मेरे से रिलेटेड?
we'll
वैसे
cover
जाजोदिया
other
जी जो
things.
मेरे बाद में बोलेंगे, he is a
Yes,
very
sir.
good, very experienced person in this trade. He will be able to give you much more. He will just throw the whole world with you what is in this particular field. Should we turn off now or something else is required? I'm not able to see your hand here actually. So that's why I can't just, someone can tell me what are the specific questions or something, some people raising hand.
Sir, we will take the questions in the
Some of
panel
my might be
discussion
writing
after
in
the
chat
webinar
box.
is over.
Is it there? I tried to open up chat box here.
Sir, we will
But
take the
because of my
questions in the panel
connection, I may
discussion
not be able
towards the
to.
end of the webinar.
Let's see.
After Mr. Jajodia finishes his talk, we will take the question answer session and panel discussion at the end, and the participants can pose their questions in the chat.
All the
box
answers in chat
meanwhile.
box, if they come up in the question answer sessions, I'll be
You
able
can
to answer.
continue.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, sir. That was a very wonderful session. It was indeed informative. Proceeding further, I would like to introduce to
I'm
you
unable
all.
to hear you. I'll see.
Sir, all the questions will be taken in the panel discussion and question answer session. Yeah. Thank you, sir. Proceeding further, I would like to introduce to you all our today's second guest speaker, Mr. Om Prakash Jajodia, proprietor of Krishi Kranti Kendra, Nagpur. Sir is an agriculture graduate from College of Agriculture, Nagpur. He is life member of Indian Nursery Association, Indian Rose Society, Nagpur Garden Club, and Vidarbha Rose Society. Sir has more than 50 years of vast experience in the field of agriculture and has written 3 books and more than 100 articles. He has been resource person of agri training in many premier institutes. With such a vast practical experience and knowledge of agriculture field, Sir has recently received prestigious award like Shri for their field of gardening. I extend a hearty welcome to you, sir. Sir will give his insights on the topic nursery raising as profitable enterprise. An announcement for our participants, feedback link will be shared on YouTube, Google Meet, and respective WhatsApp after the conclusion of webinar. Now, I would humbly request Sir to take over our session and give us his insights.
Hello.
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Start. Okay. Yes, namaste. Vande Mataram. I am Om Jajodia. I thank Thomas Sir, Principal, SFS College, I thank Mrs. Lakshmi Madam for giving me and Dr. Sarika for giving me an opportunity to speak in this prestigious webinar. And I'll start with the slideshow PPT. And I think you will enjoy. I will share some experiences which you may not have shared and may be useful to you. There are so many things which you know and some things which you do not know. So let us make this webinar very interesting and useful. So I'll start. I'm raising nursery as a profitable business. And the onset I said Vande Mataram. Vande Mataram is our national song. But if you go through the second line of Vande Mataram, Sujalam Sufalam Malayaja Shitalam. Am I audible? Hello?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
So the second line of Vande Mataram is Sujalam Sufalam Malayaja Shitalam. After listening this line, I was disturbed. Say, what is there to get disturbed? Now the Sujal means good water. Sufal means good fruit and grain. As a student of botany, you know grains are also fruits. And Malayaja Shitalam, the clean air. Now do we have Sujal? Is our water clean to drink or use? Is our food what we eat is healthy? Is the air what we inhale healthy? So what we have done under the name of development, we have spoiled our food, soil, food, air and water. So if you eat unhealthy food and if you drink unhealthy water or polluted water, will your stomach be all right? I think no. और एक डॉक्टर से मैंने बात किया था सर, उनका कहना है पेट का और दिमाग का मियाँ बीवी जैसा संबंध होता है. पेट खराब तो दिमाग खराब, और दिमाग खराब तो फिर क्या बचा. तो हमको इसको रिवर्स गियर में लाना है. But to go back to the and nursery business can get us into that field. Because what I feel another thing, what are we doing to give our children? Polluted air, unhealthy food, polluted water, how can they be healthy? So what will be the position of health thought today? What is Corona doing? What are so many things being? What are we going to give our children? Bad air, bad food, polluted water, and plant. You want to maintain this healthy atmosphere from where the solution comes. It is from nursery. Change. Now what we start is, if you want to start a nursery, you should have the following qualities. Like any other business, we need following qualities for an entrepreneur. Whatever the business you want to be, in whatever business you want to be, for long term, honesty is the best policy. With my experience, I tell you, confirm you, honesty is the only best policy. If you go some unhealthy business practices, you will be not again getting the goodwill. So that is very second. Second thing is knowledge. This is a nursery business.
बीच में से आवाज गायब हो जाती.
This is a business or enterprise that requires knowledge of baby plants. They do not speak. So you must know where the plants are to be kept, how they are grown, what is the requirement of food, water, light, and so many things. And if you know this, it is a very profitable business. I tell you my experience. I am an agriculture graduate. My two sons who are engineers are in this business full time, and my third generation has also joined. The next is hard work. This is not a job service. You have to be alert throughout the day, and you have to work hard. You can say so this requires hard work. Babies require care, and they do not wait for tomorrow morning. If there are heavy rains, you have to take care of. If there are hot sun, if the baby water, you have to take care of your baby. So this requires hard work, and hard work pays. It is not that it doesn't pay. You get so many things which money cannot buy. Then next is goodwill. Goodwill is a very important thing in any business. What example I give you, if Tata wants 10,000 rupees, they will get through subscription on one day. Can we do it? No. At present, we do not. So we have to create the goodwill. Initially, I was not given this way, but now when I have been taught this goodwill, the banks are ready to give me any amount anytime. So business is very important, and you must create a goodwill. Goodwill in financial, goodwill in quality, goodwill in service, and pays in long term. So go for goodwill; it will pay you in long term as well as short term. Once you are known for goodwill, your business will. It's we have been always customer centric. Customer is our God. We take care of their need, and if we take care of their needs, they will not go anywhere else. On the other hand, they will recommend other customers also to go to your shop. So one of our relatives who is also a businessman, he says customers are the gems of your business. ये गहने हैं आपके दुकान के. जिस दुकान में कस्टमर नहीं है वो दुकान कोई काम की नहीं है. जिस नर्सरी में कस्टमर नहीं वो तो जो शोभा बिजनेस की वो कस्टमर से तो बी कस्टमर से कई not only they, their friend circle and everybody will pay you. ये पीछे किया I'll tell you a little bit about Krishi Kranti Kendra. Krishi Kranti Kendra was established on 9th August 1973. 9th August is known as the Kranti Day. So with relation to revolutionize, we have brought so many things. And we'll take care of it, but at present it's not the place. Only one thing regarding gardening, I'll tell you what is my observation. You get addicted to gardening for peace, prosperity, and good health. If you go for that, this is the scope for gardening. Suppose I give you a formula where you get your family is healthy and मियाँ बीबी के झगड़े कम हो या हो तो घर में निपट जाए तो will you like to have that formula? Gardening is that formula, and you get because I do not give you anything. God gives you because you are associated with the God. The God gives you good health, good children, and better family relations. Gardening, why? So this is a social enterprise. When you for one simple question I will ask you, how you can live without oxygen? And what is the source from where you can get oxygen other than plants? Because of time people have tried, but the quality of oxygen has resulted in many hazards. So this is a feel that creates good society responsibility. One very interesting thing in the regarding plants I'll tell you, and you know it, but they have forgotten. You are all the students of botany. I am not. Plants take carbon dioxide and various poisonous gases and immediately give you oxygen. What do they do with the remaining material? They have taken poison from you and they have given oxygen a life giving thing without which you cannot live. They have given you amrut. What about the leftover poison? What they do, they convert it into food, flowers, vegetables, so many useful things. So, so if you want to create more nature to be healthy to yourself as well as your baby, you do not cut the trees. Grow more trees, maintain more trees. And there this is the importance of gardening. And from the so nursery is the basic need for gardening. Nursery is the basic need for gardening and basic need true plant for the life. So nursery is a very important business, very interesting business, very useful business. I'll tell you regarding basics of nursery business. First, I already told you as a requirement of any business, you must have the knowledge of the plants. Unless you have knowledge of the plants, you may lose somewhere. So people ask you so many questions, and if you do not have the knowledge, first try to get the knowledge. I don't say that you must have a master's or the doctor's degree, but through experience also you get a lot of knowledge. And that gives you a little upper hand above others, other nurserymen. Second is attitude. You must have unparalleled affection, attitude, love. Love will give you so many things which you have never thought of, because that is all nature. And what the nature or God should give you, it knows. You do not know what can nature give you. आपकी झोली थोड़ी कम पड़ सकती है, उसके बाद देने की कमी नहीं है. आप and you will be known person in the society. So, and this is a kind of nursery. Don't plant you require labor is also another important input. Nowadays there is acute shortage of labor. Have to keep the labor, handle them here, and use equipments that can be used instead of labor. Can we avoid the so be labor friendly and eco. Interesting point. Only interest. You have to start. The capital will follow. Customers will follow. But take care, capital is also very essential thing without which you cannot start. Fish good sea is closed because the water is polluted. So before start the study, you must taste the water, whether it's good for that or not. Then only start when you get good quality water. Above all, very important thing is market. Whatever you produce, whatever you bring, whatever you obtain from anywhere, if it is not sold, it will be a liability. And then people will start scolding you, अरे तो इसको समझना नहीं से क्यों business चालू है? And then only start. And you, I tell you, assure you, you will be the leader. क्या हो रहा है? ये जीरो के बाद वाली nursery enterprise. Now, the interesting business. Those who are interested, they will start nursery. So, what are the opportunities? I have gone through SWOT analysis of the nursery. For India and that. What ideal geographical we have to I got food. When I started, people looked at me. There's so much in Nagpur. How can you say that? I found here. Very diseases. Our plants do not die because they are very hardy. They face the sun. The sun is being waste. The plant grown in nursery at Nagpur are healthier than any other location in the country. So same advantages with every location. So you have to study that location and take advantage. You can grow very good mangoes at Lucknow. You can grow very good oranges at Nagpur. Recently, yeah, Nagpur. So what you have, what crops you are growing, what are growing you in nursery, and then this is our strength. That every location has a favorable climate for particular things. So you have grow apple at Srinagar and oranges at Nagpur. So there you can grow indoors at Bangalore. You can grow indoor very good plants at Pune. Every place has its advantages. The good flowering plants are grown at Calcutta. So we have to take study and situation, and we have got so many type of climate. We can grow everything, and without the word, we have got educated people, have got very education institutions like IERI, CICR, agriculture colleges all over the world. Agriculture is educated to the highest number of educated people in the world in agriculture also. If they start this business, they can rule the world. Create India, not US or India, like rent of the plants. I've seen many plants. Interesting example is about 10 years back, which is one person came with wife, saying that my wife has said, मेरा सर दुख रहा मुझे पिक्चर याद आना है पिक्चर का डेट लाया था मुझे जब फोन आया बहुत their heart कपड़े खराब हुए तो फिक्र नहीं but they take care. They love plants. Nagpur, the land, the number hundreds of pieces are going on against people who have cut the plant. So be crazy for the plants. Because our existence is directly related to the plants. Because how can we live without oxygen? Weakness. What are the problems or weakness for the nursery business? No much government support. Government is not so active in helping the nursery business. We have to take care of ourselves. If the government does not do anything, But because this is particularly a new business or something, new government has not given support to many times. But there are certain schemes also which you have to study and do it. Since this presentation was prepared for Nagpur, so there is poor government support for at Nagpur. Then there is fear. Fear in the sense we have are good. But friend, they are only fear. तो चाहे आप छाती करके सीधा करके आगे निकल जाओ तो फ्यूअल लेकिन मैं आपको बताता हूँ मैंने दो चीजें I think this secret everyone can double the yield of hello, are you able to? क्या हो गया?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Audible. Madam, I take, and that will double the yield of cotton and income without any expenditure, additional into expenditure. For that, you have to go on YouTube and search Disha Jeetki. Develop a very simple technology without any addition to the cost. On the other hand, reduction in the cost, and that will double the yield. Ask you as an educational institution, take up the subject and give it to a MSc student or some student who will take research and make the, if this goes, if you double the yield of cotton and two, it will be in trillions of rupees. And not only money, it will save on import of the oil because cotton is the oil seed also. And poor is, so these things are, both things are required and imported in large quantity. So if you go, the Disha DISHI, not DWSHI. If you want, I will send you the link. But this is, and there are so many things which we have tried only on two things. But I am sure that many vegetables can be doubled. And the interesting part is easy and cost effective. Now, heat and water. Heat and water, summer heat at Nagpur and torrential rains at very other places are the problems. We have faced it, but it's not that. You have to locate your nursery where there is no water problem, not actually not a flood problem. Then one thing which the farmers have, students, you should not have inferiority complex. If you are gone. So come out of the inferiority and stand like a lion. You will be the winner. I have already told you if you go for cotton alone, crores and crores of saplings are required. 15.3 million hectares in the area under cotton. And every acre requires about 4,000 saplings. What will be the demand? Just imagine. And what about other things also? Within 4 or 5 days, I assure you, almost every crop, including jawar, will be propagated and given to the farmers through nursery. So it's ever-growing demand. Demand for fruits, flowers, vegetables, even vegetable seedling. We are preparing vegetable seedling and selling them in lakhs. So ever-growing demand. The conventional system of growing vegetable saplings is now gone. And everybody, 90% people grow saplings through seedling tree. You must have seen the seedling tray, or you can go to the YouTube or anywhere and understand the seedling tray technique. Even you can go through this Disha Jeetki, there is shown how to grow good seedlings. This is never ending business. This will never There will be not a day where you will not need food. There will not be a day when you do not need oxygen. There will not be a day when you do not need water. These all things are given through plants, and therefore this is never ending business. This is ever growing business. So once you start and once you are accustomed, it is not ending. I started in 73, still our business is growing. Great. Lack of knowledge and experience is a trait. So any business, lack of knowledge and experience. You should gain experience before you start. Don't start anything at random without knowledge and experience. Study and then you will be successful. One very interesting thing, but which is not now, leftover stocks. आप साल भर माल बेचते हो, बचा हुआ स्टॉक बच जाता है, गर्मी में मर जाता है, तो आपका सब हिसाब बराबर हो गया. But nowadays technologies have developed, and if you erect a shed net house, no plant dies. Shed net is also a very interesting thing. It lowers the temperature by 5 degrees Celsius, or you can say 9 degrees Fahrenheit. And there is a critical point known as 104 degrees Fahrenheit or 40 degrees Celsius. If any temperature rises above, then there is heat, and the plants and animals, this start abnormal behavior. But this shed net brings down the temperature to almost normal. 9 degrees by way of shed net, then moisture is there, shade is there, and so many things we can bring down to 104. And below 104, there is no casualties, hardly 10%. So take over this shed net as an important thing. It is very low cost, very easy to handle, but it is a very cost effective, useful technology. What I find, some labor can sleep under the shed net in summer. It is so pleasant. Then again, availability of labor is a big problem everywhere. Reasons not known. On every day we see there is unemployment, but you cannot get labor from the farm work or nursery work. So you have to be very careful to handle the labor, because this is a labor-oriented business. You have to take them with love, affection, make them your own, treat them like your own family member, and they will be very useful. If you scold them and this, then they will say, Bhai sahab, hisab kar do, I'm going. And he will find a job anywhere else, you will not get the labor. So you have to handle the labor very skillfully. Sudden change in demand or cancellation of order. Sometimes it happens, it's not a regular feature, but somebody gives you order, and because of the political change or sudden change in the climate or the financial condition of the competitors interfere, cancellation of order is there. You should be ready in case order is cancelled, somebody else will purchase. Don't fear about it. One very essential tip I want to give you: do not sell on credit. Sell only where I assure that you are going to get the money in time. Otherwise, your business may come to an end. So don't try to sell on credit anything unless you are very, very sure. Career prospects. Have a plant nursery as an enterprise. You can have a plant nursery as an enterprise, not only enterprise, very good enterprise. And you do not create a job for us. You create job opportunities for others. You create healthy atmosphere for others. You create good food for others. You create good fruits for others. Nursery creates good flowers for others. So making the entire earth, which is going in the pollution related, it will control the pollution. The threat of pollution is there are 40 lakh deaths all over the world because of the pollution related diseases. And nursery is the only or the major source which can reduce pollution. There are so many other things which also we have to do, but this is also a major source that can reduce the pollution and give life livable, make our next generation healthy. Krishi Kranti Kendra. I'll tell you something about me. I'll not. Krishi Kranti Kendra is a place where you get almost everything for your garden. And not only garden, forest, agriculture, and everything. Actually, our interest is you should come with a problem and leave our shop with a smile. We are here to solve your problems. We are not there to sell our plant material. Our material is sold automatically if we solve your problem. If we are friendly with you, if we give you good quality material at reasonable rate, you will be our friend. Not only customer, you will become the friends. And this is a trend with Krishi Kranti Kendra. Number of customers, they don't treat them as us as customer shopkeeper. They treat us as friends. And there are so many advantages I got because they are the judges from the High Court, leading advocates, doctors. बड़ा मजा आता है सब उनके साथ में बैठ के जब वहाँ बीमार हो गए तो पहले अपना नंबर लग जाता है और they take so much care which is required for nowadays. So this is a very interesting social business. I have already told you that my 3 generations are there in this field. I am an agriculture graduate, 2 sons are BE. They had an opportunity to go to foreign countries, but they have not gone. And one very interesting thing, my grandson also, there is a scope. A scope is, Paliwal sir rightly said, sky or even beyond the sky, there is a limit. So every day, these are growing. The demand for plants and plant-related materials is growing. You can grow for, we prepare very good quality vermicompost. Fortunately, we have got variety of earth form, which is very voracious, local, and converts all the matter, including powder and kachra, in a good quality manure within 35 days. If somebody wants, we can give them. There are cultures available which also convert all these waste material into food manure. And when you place waste material into manure, you convert the first you have converted the material into manure which was going to pollute the atmosphere. Second thing, that manure has spread the greenery which will control the pollution. And because you have not used the chemicals, so that chemical would have caused the pollution, it will not cause the pollution. So three-way control on pollution, and which is very important. We sell flower seeds, we sell implements, whatever you need for garden, we supply. Unless it is not available. Because what I know, there is no such shop. And if you want something, where will you go? So we try to have all needs in floriculture and commercial agriculture all the times. For the we prepare organic manure of our own because we have got Goshala. We have got very interesting product. We have got cocoa peat. We deal in cocoa peat. We prepare saplings. We have got a nursery. We have developed a product known as Krishi peat. Cocoa peat is good for germination, but cocoa peat has some disadvantages like its pH is 5. In pH 5 cocoa peat, the plants only germinate, but they do not grow. We have added certain herbs and vermicompost and trichoderma and prepared Krishi peat. And Krishi peat gives wonderful results. The plants grow better, seedlings grow better in cocoa. Krishi peat can be used as a pot mix. Krishi peat can be used for terrace garden. It's a lightweight protein medium at very low cost. One very big advantage what we have is I am an agriculture graduate. My son is an engineer. My grandson is an engineer. So whatever technology developed is developed by us. So no cost paid. We have got our own land. We have got our own building. So neither rent nor interest nor anything. So our products are cost effective and we treat customer above all. All business is customer centric. If you come, you will find that we are customer centric. Only a few days within this Corona period, you must have experienced a problem, but I assure you, we will be always customer centric. If you have any problem and if you cannot come, contact us on phone. We are always there at your service and as a service, not very, you will enjoy it. We grow lawns and grasses. We have got our own farms. Lawn is also interesting thing as a business point of view. Friends, lawn is 90% of any garden. You do not underestimate lawn. If you are selling plants for 1,000 rupees, the sale of lawn is more than 9,000 rupees. So you have to see that you also supply deal in lawn. Marketing, I have already told you, but repeat, know your customers. Marketing is the lifeline of your business. Unless you have market or customers, you will be a failure. Be serious and listen to this thing carefully. Know your customers. You know your customers, know your customers' demand, their status, their requirement, and how they want. If they want home delivery, if they are industrialists, they want at their place. So whatever you know the customer, study them, their requirement. That will help you a lot. Know your products. You should know the products also, what you are going to sell. And products in the way that how they, you don't think from that way, I have got this product, I have to sell. I have cocoa pit, I have to sell to Mr. Paliwal. Don't think that way. Think that how can Mr. Paliwal be benefited from that cocoa pit? So know your product and sell accordingly in the way that customer is benefited by that product. So you will have ample sale and ample goodwill. So know your product, have a knowledge of the product, and then sell. And sell in the interest of the farmers, sell in the interest of our customer, sell in the interest of garden lovers, and they will lift you to any height I do not know. Promote new and advanced products. About 50 years back, I was reading a book on Chanakya. There's one very interesting sentence or slogan, what you call. आकर्षण नवीनता में है, सुंदरता में नहीं. So you have always to be innovative. You must have new products, advanced products, because everybody every time asks kya naya hai. So you have to be innovative. If you think just I will take material of old fashion, so it will be difficult to survive. So you have to be innovative. You have to bring new items, give them to the customers, and enjoy your life also. There are so many ways of promoting website, social media marketing, advertisement, YouTube, Facebook, and so many things. To make use of all these things, participate in trade fairs, various agriculture, horticulture exhibitions, and whatever. One more thing I will suggest you, which is not written, prepare a list of your associates. Associate with your friends, your relatives, with telephone number, and if possible, and that you take this. And they want. There is a need for material and requirement for material. So you have to be aggressive. So you be aggressive and be successful. Thank you. Thank you so much. I think certain tips I will give you within a minute or two. I repeat, honesty is the best policy, and specifically with your customers and the bankers. never let your bank down, let you down. So if you want success, you must have, and if you treat the bank or you do not pay the bank at the time, due that time, they will let you down, and then again to stand up is very difficult. This is my experience. So please do not make this type of mistake. Your creditor should believe you, and if they believe and if you pay them in time, you will be prosperous. Don't cheat anybody. Cheating doesn't pay. Cheating doesn't pay in long term. It will pay you short run, but you will be known as ठग. ठग के पास कोई फिर से नहीं जाता है. ठाकुर के पास जाता है. You have to become the ठाकुर, become the lord, you have become the master, and for that you have to be healthy, healthy in business practice. किसी को ठगना नहीं, तो आप ठाकुर बन जाएंगे. आप ठाकुर बन, आपका बिजनेस हमेशा चलता रहेगा. I wish every success to everybody. Those who want to enter, those who want to even join, grow plants. For a health, I again repeat, get addicted to gardening for peace, prosperity, and health. I have given you examples. Go at home and see that gardening gives you peace, prosperity, and health. And it is going to you because when you get associated with gardening, you get associated with the God. Nature is God, and what God should give you or what God will give you, no one knows. So again, best of luck to everybody. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. It was a great session and your insights were very helpful to participants. Thank you, sir. I request both the speakers, Mr. Paliwal sir and Mr. Jajodia sir, and Nakvi ma'am and Sarika ma'am, to take over the proceedings for panel discussion and question and answer session.
Thank you, Saili.
Thank you, Saili.
Welcome.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Dr. Sarika Gurav, Assistant Professor, Botany Department. I must say that the sessions by our eminent speakers were exemplary. Our first speaker, Sharad Paliwal sir, gave a very lucid explanation on basic requirements of raising plant nursery. He talked about various important aspects like types of soil required, potting mixes, bags and pots to be used, polyhouse and shed nets, and types of plant nurseries. Our second speaker, Om Jajodia sir, brilliantly elucidated various facets of raising plant nursery as a successful enterprise. He has motivated our participants by sharing his experiences, his journey to the Kranti Kendra. He has enlightened us on how plant nursery and allied products can be taken up as a profitable business. It was indeed a captivating session. There are few questions from our participants. Paliwal sir and Jajodia sir, may I forward them to you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can.
Sir, our first question is, are there any funding agencies which provide funds for raising plant nursery if one is not having that particular capital in hand?
And
Sir, you are not clearly audible. Your voice is not clear.
Huh?
Your voice is not clear.
The funds are available. Is the voice clear now?
No, still it is not.
Just wait.
शायद आपका ऑडियो बंद करेंगे तो थोड़ा सा क्लियर हो. वीडियो बंद करें तो शायद थोड़ा क्लियर. आपका ऑडियो भी बंद हो गया.
Am I audible, madam?
Yeah, now you are, sir.
So there are number of agencies, but especially what I prefer, all the nationalized banks, if you are qualified, they give you good quality amount loan. Only thing you have to be sincere to repay, and then in course of time you can get any amount of loan without any problem. So there are number of agencies. Government department also helps, but it is very, I know much. I don't know much about it. Paliwal sir will guide you in this one.
number of agencies are there, banks हैं help करने के लिए, government is there, uh, agriculture department can also certify you to a certain extent to get the loans. लोन लेना उतना डिफिकल्ट नहीं है, लोन पे करना है डिफिकल्ट. तो आप इसके लिए यही दें कि एक्स्ट्रा अननेसेसरी लोन नहीं ले, जितना नेसेसरी हो वही ले और सिंसियरली रीपे करें, जैसे जजोदिया जी ने बोला.
Sir, our next question is, what are opportunities for export in case of plant nursery products? Are there any opportunities?
There are opportunities, but there is a limitation also. जो भी soil है, so you cannot export. Normally, importing countries will not allow you to send your soil there. So only soilless things can be exported, or it needs lots of. You have to be a specialist on it. Then again, certain amount of quarantine is there in all these things. So your plant which you are exporting should be able to sustain that quarantine period also. Better is not to think of exporting at this moment. First you start the nursery, slowly get onto all these things, explore the things, and then think of exporting. Om Babu और बता पाएंगे sir?
This all right, sir. There is a lot of scope, but you have to take care what are the quarantine laws, and then you can go. Second thing, you have to go for soilless culture, which I have explained. Krishi peat, cocoa peat, these are the soilless cultures. If you try, there is good scope, but everybody has to study export, and there government department, especially agriculture department, helps a lot in this. Cooperative departments also help. बट यू हैव टू टेक इनिशिएटिव एंड स्टडी. कारण आजकल देखा गवर्नमेंट डिपार्टमेंट बहुत ज़्यादा मदद नहीं करते हैं. द स्कोप इज देयर. नंबर ऑफ पीपल एट पुणे, दे आर एक्सपोर्टिंग लॉट ऑफ मटेरियल टू इट. थैंक यू.
Sir, there are already we know that there are many nurseries in India, but then how a nursery raiser should ensure that he will get contracts? Means what measures he should take so that he will get contracts, so that he makes his business profitable?
Right, I'll tell you, madam. I have already told to prepare a list of your contacts to get the contract and try them, and you will get so many contacts which you will not be able to. You have to select them and then get a list of all industries in your area, and you send a letter. But before that, you should be well versed with the contract. If you get a contract and do not execute it properly, then it will be a problem. Otherwise, getting the contract for making a garden is not difficult. Only you have to prepare a list of the industries, schools, colleges, and big business houses, government departments, and with no dearth of work. And municipal corporations, schools, colleges, everybody has a garden. Out of 10, 9 houses have garden. Every industry has garden. Every school, college has garden. Forest department has garden. PWD has garden. There are a number of Western Coalfield is there. Moil is there. And number of State Bank is there. Every bank has a garden. Reserve Bank has a garden. So they are in search of people who will take up the work. Only thing, you have to present yourself in such a way that you will be able, you should satisfy them and get the work. And this business is worth crores of rupees only in Nagpur. Other places I don't know. Mumbai, Kolkata, Hyderabad, Bangalore is hundreds of crores.
Sir, there is one similar question from the participant which you have already answered, but then still our participant wants to know: is there any specific scheme for such type of plant nursery raising or any allied business? Is there
So
any specific?
I am not aware of any such scheme. Only Horticulture Board and Agriculture Department does it, but I am not aware of them.
There is question from our students that how college students can participate or start this business from small scale, or means if students they want to take up this as an initiative, so
Yes,
how
very
should
good
they
question.
start?
As I said, prepare a list of your contacts, friends, government departments, and everything, and start from home. Don't hire any place. If you have got own house, it's all right. Otherwise, hire a small place and start from small. There will be
Sir,
definitely you have to contact, and people will come to you and give you so much job that you need not to wander here and there. Use social media and you get contacts. I have done it and I have got it. And not only I know number of people who are doing this way only. So it is without risk, but they must have knowledge first. Without knowledge, if you go to anybody, you will be ruled out. So you have to study the plants, try to have a small garden, nurture it, and then go for it. All of a sudden, if you go for contract, people know you do not know the thing.
sir, another question, sir. Are there any short-term courses available for our students in and around Nagpur? I think they will be benefited if I think Paliwal sir will be able to answer
Yes,
this
yes.
question.
In Nagpur Garden Club, we do organize certain courses on basic gardening. Even otherwise, personally also, I do it on not practical courses. They are on the web. Online courses I do conduct. Nagpur Garden Club also conduct these courses. Nowadays various other garden clubs around Nagpur like Amravati, Varda, they had started doing Chandrapur. They had started doing basic gardening course. Once you do the basic gardening course, you know what is gardening, and then you should enter anything about it. Specifically for nursery, there is no course.
Madam,
There is a course in Pune. I think Om Babu will be able to tell you.
I have designed a course. It's only 1 day course, but I have conducted one because of this corona. I have stopped it. We can grow very good nursery, and it is only in 1 day. You can know about it 1 day or 2 days, and from next month or after Diwali, we will start it. And it will be a practical course. It will not be a theoretical course. We'll take him to the farm. I'll show his nursery. How do we fill the plant? How do we fill the pot? How do we grow it? How to grow it and how to sell it. Sell it only is not possible. How to sell there. The rest of the things other than sale, we can demonstrate them.
I think Pune mein there is certain courses run by some horticulture department in something, but they are comprising of few months.
लेफ्ट करके लिखा है इसमें
Specifically horticulture के ऊपर courses हैं Pune में, but then you need a certain qualification there to join them also.
I would like
Yes.
to add one thing at this point, that with our Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji emphasizing more and more on the skill development courses. So mostly, if you see all the university curriculums, they have come up with this, that this skill development part has been added in all the courses. Because we want that our youth should be, when they pass out of with a formal degree, they should be job providers and not job seekers. So and they should be industry ready. That whatever they are learning in the graduation or maybe in the formal degree, they should be able to start an enterprise. And this course, actually, this webinar we had planned because during my interaction with so many students, especially in Vidarbha region, what we find is that they have lot of land. Is available, but the students, they don't know how to make use of that land. So this can be one of the enterprise which can they set up on the land, and that land can be utilized. Plus, they can go in for business opportunity also. Thank you.
I'll just interrupt one way that Mr. Jajodia will be able to tell you also that nowadays there is a fashion of, not exactly fashion, that is a need also to raise the plantlets, especially for cotton, for papita and these things in the nursery, and then plant it in the fields.
Yes.
So that type of nursery can also be started by those who have land, who
Yes,
have
yes.
who are stay in villages, who have
Mhm.
approach to the villages.
Yes.
They can do that.
Definitely.
Madam, for this we can have a visit to our nursery at Kuradi,
Yes.
and but not more than 10 persons at a time,
Yeah.
so that we can give them proper training, information,
Yes.
and I assure you, 5 out of 10 will start business.
Definitely, sir. Your lecture has definitely must have motivated our participants to. I'm very sure because an excellent, because you have explained the practical difficulties, practical constraints, and you have given very useful tips to our participants, including the technical know-how and also the constraints, including handling of the labor, which is because this nursery raising and any agro-based industry is dependent on labor-intensive industries. They all are agri-based industries. I think it will definitely benefit our participants. And because what I feel is only theoretical knowledge is not sufficient unless it is supplemented with a practical know-how. Then once you get into it, then you know what are the finer points and what are the difficulties which are not there in the books. So this is something which is outside the classroom, I can say. These type of technical sessions and these type of webinars. Okay.
Madam, one thing has stuck to my mind right now while you were talking. If you visit to our farm,
Yes,
to
sir.
nursery, then
Mhm.
you can start that type of course at your place also. It will be very
Yes, sir.
easy.
Yes, sir. I'm very
And
much
it will
interested.
not be difficult at all. You have got all infrastructure. We don't have
Yeah,
that much. So you can
definitely.
start that training to your
Yes,
students, and that can be a very big social business. I don't treat it
yes,
only as
yes,
an enterprise. It's a
yes.
business that gives you health, that gives you wealth, that gives you peace of mind and money.
Very right.
And
Very right.
money at the young age as well as at old age, and satisfaction.
We will
So these
definitely
two
think in
things
that direction, sir. Because
are
and this
to
webinar
help.
is a starting of that. You can say.
Yeah, starting of that journey.
Yeah, definitely.
Just one of the colleges in Nagpur is doing this type of thing at their own premises, and they are organizing exhibitions and selling plants.
Yes, sir. Actually, we are
You might
also
be
doing
knowing
this,
about that.
and we
Small
are
college is doing that.
planning to start that actually for the benefit of our students. Uh, uh, so there is one question from the participant. It's a very interesting question, so I would just like to put it up. There is a participant from Northeast, and that participant wants to know that there is so much of greenery and so many plants in Northeast area. So what is happening is that there are many nurseries which are opening up and they are getting closed because the people they don't show interest. So due to the lack of people's interest, so what are the tips we would like to give to the participant to open a successful nursery in the northeast, especially region where there is a lot of greenery and plants around?
They, can I say something? They are
Yes,
unable to market it at their place only because it's
yes, yes.
plenty of things are available there. So they should look after the other portion of India to market them.
Lotus can grow very easily. Orchids, cactuses, succulents, they do. And some of the nurseries in North, especially around Dehradun and all that area, are doing it successfully. Their market is whole over India.
Yeah.
So similar things in Northeast are doing. Now lots of connectivity is happening there. Lots of transportation facilities have been developed
Yeah.
there for Northeast also. So they
Because
can
I
very
feel
well
that
connectivity in over India.
yes, I feel that for starting any industry, you should first do the market survey and study the market, that what is the market for which particular plant or for which particular this thing, there is a market. So accordingly I think it should be planned, and then it will be a successful venture. And plus the person should also have technical knowledge, and I think that will be an added advantage for any owner of the nursery if he himself has technical knowledge and practical know-how also. Because if in any industry you see there are so many shops, but why is it that one particular shop is having a profitable business and the other is not having? I think the same holds true for the nursery raising business also.
Yeah,
Yeah,
very
very
true.
true. We
Yes, sir.
in India we can say we have lots of very big opportunity in
Yes,
international markets.
yes,
Orchids, adeniums, even now lotus, water lilies. All this
yes,
market has been captured by Thailand in that side,
hmm,
which we have because we were producing it originally. Things had come up from our area, so we could have done it very well. But just because of
yes,
lack of knowledge or lack of entrepreneurship, these things had been lost.
yes, yes, sir, definitely.
Still, there is a time, and our people can do it, but they should have guts to do it basically.
Yes,
Our own interest is very much here.
yes, yes.
Thank you, sir, sirs, for answering all the questions with proficiency, and thank you very much, ma'am. It was really a mesmerizing, engaging, and inspiring session for our students and other participants. I think they have benefited a lot by the knowledge which was shared on this platform. Thank you once again. Now I hand over the proceedings to our host, Miss Saili Raut. Over to you, Saili.
Thank you,
One
ma'am.
minute, ma'am. If you have any problem anytime, you
Sir.
give my number to anybody who is interested in nursery business, and I'll be happy to help him.
Yes, sir,
Sir,
definitely, sir.
sir, we will definitely collaborate with you in future because that would definitely benefit our students. So we will have in future also we will have collaboration with you. Thank you so much.
I could say one thing: he is father of nursery and agri-business in Nagpur.
Yeah, yeah. I know, sir.
So,
That is why we had
yeah,
invited sir to share his practical experiences, because we feel that only theoretical knowledge is not sufficient. It has to be supplemented with the practical know-how. And I think sir is the best person and he has guided our participants very well.
Madam, one very interesting thing you and Sarika have done. They have prepared a very good PowerPoint presentation, which I never expected. And
Thank
my
you.
special thanks to Sarika and you for that.
Thank you, sir.
Presentation was, I think I would not have been able to do that much on my own.
No, no, but sir, you have guided the
Of
participants
course,
so
both.
well, na? That was very nice of you. Thank you so much.
And
Thank
nice
you,
of
sir.
you also because you are organized.
So this is all for the benefit of our students and also our
Yes, yes.
participants.
We want that. We want that.
Yeah, thank
Our
you.
area should come up because you
Yes,
have said it, Nagpur. I'll take 1 minute more.
yeah,
Nagpur
sure.
has special advantage, madam.
Yes, sir.
It's centrally located.
Mm-hmm.
Very good law and order. There is agriculture college. The
Yes,
dean of
sir.
the agriculture college is horticulturist. He's a,
Yeah,
so there are so many things. Climate is good. Weather
yes,
is law and order is good. People
yes,
are educated. We should take organize and do this. This can be a
yes,
very big business. It is
yes, sir. Definitely.
centrally located better than Pune or even Kadiyam or any other place. We
Yes,
can have a big business here. And
definitely,
this is
sir.
my dream. So
Yeah,
I think
sure,
we will
sir.
help.
We will definitely try to fulfill your dream, and definitely we
And this
will
will
start in this
employ
direction.
thousands and thousands of people, young
Yes,
people who
sir.
are living for Pune and Mumbai. Why? They
Yeah,
can
yeah, yeah.
earn more than that what they earn here.
Yeah. I think we need to tap the resources which are there in our area.
Yeah.
That has not been done
So we
that
have
much,
to
I
tap
think.
the area and we have to tap the market,
Yeah, yeah.
Mumbai, Pune,
Yes,
other
yes,
places.
yes.
From here we can supply the plants to them and good quality plants. I don't compromise on quality at any cost.
Yes,
If it's good quality at reasonable rate,
yes, yes.
very good demand, not only
Because there are
India.
many people here who have lot of land in and around Nagpur. So that, and but then that is all lying waste. Many of the
Yeah.
places you have seen. So that type of thing, I think this type of webinars will definitely
Yes.
help the participants and they to think in that direction.
There's one more thing that Nagpur plants can get very easy hardening. And once they are hardened up, resell is easy and they have a very good mortality.
Yes.
Many of my friends who are doing some particular type of a nursery business, one is only doing growing palms. He
Yes.
grows palms in Nagpur from seeds, and his plants have a very good survival rate.
Okay, sir.
That is benefit with Nagpur.
Yes,
Hardening
definitely.
is easily done because of our weathering.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone. That was indeed an engrossing session. Now, I would like to invite Ms. Prajakta Vaidya for the formal vote of thanks. Over to you, Prajakta.
Okay. Acha.
Hello everyone, I am Prajakta Vaidya from BSc final year. I am extremely grateful to both our eminent speakers, Mr. Sharad Paliwal sir and Mr. Om Jajodia sir, for accepting our invitation and sharing their knowledge with us. Thank you for inspiring and encouraging us and sharing your expertise with us. I would also like to thank the management and principal, Dr. K.T. Thomas sir, for their constant support and encouragement. I thank to Dr. Nikhat Nakwe ma'am and HOD of Botany Department and Dr. Sarika Guru ma'am for organizing this national webinar and for giving us such a brilliant opportunity to enhance our knowledge. I express my thanks to other organizing committee members, including Pinke Gidwani ma'am, Ritika Vanzari ma'am, and Surbhi Walde ma'am for all their technical assistance. Without their technical expertise and support, this webinar wouldn't have been possible. I express my thanks to Saili Raut for handling the proceedings of the webinar so efficiently. Finally, I thank all the participants for their valuable presence and active participation. Dear participants, kindly note that the link for the feedback form has been shared in the Google Meet chat box and the YouTube live chat and also in respective WhatsApp groups. Please do remember to fill up the form. Take care and stay safe. Thank you everyone. I now request everyone to please stand for the national anthem. Thank you.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मागे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे